What's up, you dirtbags? My name is Luke Agerbraten, and I am the co-host of the Dirtbags podcast, which is the #1 podcast around the world for dirtbags. And I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Luke Payne.
The Luke and Luke's. We do not have a guest this one. Luke and I just decided we haven't talked in a while, so we just wanted to hop on together, and we've got a pretty good episode this one coming around.
We've got a ton of stuff to talk about, Luke. We were going through it before we started recording, and like we always do, we just need to start recording, start talking about it. But we've got Con Expo coming up here. We got a little bit of talk about drinking. It looks like you got a liquid death going down there.
Yeah, it's snowing, so obviously we're gonna be pushing, so I can't be drinking. But I've kind of tapered off a little bit with all the alcohol.
I feel like that happens after a bachelor party, usually.
Yes, our bachelor party, I shouldn't say the bachelor party was actually pretty tame, which I'm surprised about. But it couldn't have come at a better time, because right as you're getting back into drinking, I'm like, I'll take a little break.
Everyone listening to this podcast is just going to be shaking their head, because I was alcohol free for over 90 days. And so I think it ended up being 100 and some days. And the second I'm back on it and we hit our goal, you're off of it.
I know, fucking weird. And the best part about that is, like, you would actually get like NA whiskey and NA beer and all of that stuff.
If anyone's trying, I tried NA everything, and the NA beers were pretty good. We had some NA Guinness and everything, but got some bourbon, and you can't replicate bourbon non-alcoholic. So it was awful. It was still $40 for a bottle, and it tasted like cough syrup.
I feel like the best part about like bourbon or whiskey itself is the actual burn.
Is the burn. Yeah. Yes. And I didn't really realize that. Well, I mean, I would just do anything. I'm like, I just want to try something. And but it's good to be back in the saddle. It was a long journey, but Luke, you and I were talking about it before. It was a challenge to myself. I guess for people that don't know, I had set a revenue goal for myself to hit in November. And my coaches told me, when you set a goal, you have to have something to celebrate if you hit it, right? So it was, my wife and I were going to go to Australia this year if we hit it. But then you also have to have a consequence, because you have to keep yourself accountable. And so I'm like, all right, I'll give up drinking if I don't hit it. And we didn't hit it, of course. So, and then I wanted to keep it going. I said, I'm going to not drink until we hit our revenue goal. And so to me, it was more than just like the drinking like that. I don't drink like a whole lot anyway, but I do enjoy a couple, like at a wedding and on the weekends and stuff. But to me, it was more about following through on a goal and seeing it through, and really just challenging myself to get it done.
Dude, 90 days. Holy cow. I didn't realize it was 90 days long. Like, that seemed way longer than it actually was.
It definitely did. But I mean, I sober cabbed a ton. I told everyone, I'm like, hey, use it now, because I'm going to be, needing a sober cab. Exactly. And so it was great though. I mean, I still did the same stuff. I still went and saw the same people, same restaurants, even went downtown a few times. I went out to the clubs, and one of the nights had like 7 NA Heinekens, just because my buddy kept buying them. And it felt weird, because, we left at 1:30 in the morning. I got in my car and drove home, and I was like, this does not feel right.
That is, I mean, good for you for keeping yourself accountable. Did you, like, health-wise, did you feel any better? Like, did you feel like better mental clarity? Did you feel, just better health-wise?
I think like during it, I would say I just felt like myself. But looking back, I would say absolutely. So it wasn't so much like during it. I was like, man, I feel like I can breathe. I feel so great. But I was been working out more, been exercising, focusing more on business, and spending time with my wife and family and everything. So I was just happy the entire time, which is great. But now that I get to reflect back on it and look back, I absolutely would say, yes, I have felt great. And now, just as I'm introducing it back in, just making sure that like, it's in moderation. Like, I want it to be like, have a good time and have it be special, whether it's on the Dirtbags podcast, whether we're in Vegas at the blackjack table at Con Expo, or, just out out on, golfing with the boys or something. But I think just making sure that it doesn't consume me, 7 days a week.
Yeah. Which is weird. Like I'm on the opposite spectrum because I love drinking. Like I'm 21 again, and I love it. But after my bachelor party was beginning of February here. After that, it was weird. It was a weird bachelor party because we didn't drink a whole lot. Like we were busy doing things to where, we get home at like 9 and everybody was asleep by 9:30.
Yeah.
So that was the fun part about it. But I'm
So
also
can we, I mean, we got to back up to the bachelor party.
Yeah,
like
bachelor party.
Will showing up.
Yeah, we'll just this is okay. So I got to tell that story. Oops. So obviously we met on the webinar Monday night, and we were kind of joking like as it was ending. And he's like, what do you guys got happening this week? I was like, it's my bachelor party. He's like, oh, cool. Like, no way. It's like, yeah, you want to come? And he's like, yeah, I do. And I was like, all right, yeah, buy your ticket, come on out. He did. And so we got there Wednesday and he flew in Thursday night.
Unreal.
Yeah, never met the guy. And he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll come out. And I'm fuck yeah, come on out. Blast. But I remember we were supposed to get him from the airport and we didn't. Well, we didn't go and get him. We sent an Uber, but apparently the Uber driver was terrible. He was like an hour late to pick him up. And then we sent him the address, and apparently he missed the exit like 4 or 5 different times. And so Will didn't get in until like 1. And he's like, yeah, I was pretty fucking tired when I got in. And I'm like, I don't blame you, because we were up by 7 the next morning and off. We went skiing the first day and snowmobiling when he got there. So I'm sure he was pretty tired.
Dude, that's insane. Like Will's just the nicest guy and just like says, oh yeah, I'll come out to your bachelor party that's in 3 days across the country. Like I'll just fly out there. And then you guys send an Uber that doesn't know how to drive and drives.
I know, kind of a slap in the face. And he was like, telling me about it the next morning. He goes, yeah, me and my boy Kev, Luke, he was a terrible fucking driver. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. What's funny, on the way out, we drove. Dylan flew in to Fargo, and then we drove the next day out, and we were texting Taylor, and we're like, come on out, get a flight, we'll come pick you up. And Taylor's like, yeah. And we sent him like a flight to where he could make it. And then he's like, I'm not coming. We're like, Will did. He's like, fuck, Will did.
Will did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor's kind of a meatball, I guess. But no, I just thought that was hilarious. Like, obviously you, me and Will were in a group chat, and you're like, yeah, come out. And he's like, fuck it. Like, I love snowmobiling.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And I mean, the snow was really good. They just got dumped on, and the weather was super cold the week before they got there. Or the week before we got there. Interstate was closed as we were coming in, but then it opened up like right as we were going through that town. So it worked out really well. But no, I mean, snow was good. Will's like, this is the best snow I've ever snowmobiled in. And I mean, I've rode 3 times, so I'm not a good snowmobiler whatsoever. So I'm like, I'm just happy to stay on the damn thing.
Yeah.
But no, it was super fun on Friday night. Yeah, Friday night after snowmobiling day 1, we all got into hot tub. They had a hot tub at the house. And I think me, Will, and Dylan, we stayed in there for like 4 hours and just talked. It was super fun conversation. One that I wish I could have recorded and like went back and listened to. But
you're just that weird guy that's like, hold on, guys.
Yeah, let me
like grab your laptop. You're like, no, it's for the podcast.
Yeah. No, but it was super fun. I mean, really good conversation between the 3 of us, really. So it's fun having Dylan there too. Again, I appreciate him flying from where he did and then driving 12 hours with me. So
Dylan's the man. I feel like Dylan's just a yes man. Like, he, no doubt in his mind, he was gonna miss that. He's like, yep, I'm there.
Dude, he is yes man. And I feel bad because he kind of got picked on. In like a joking way. But so Matthew, one of my buddies, Matthew, hometown friend, we were skiing and he couldn't remember Dylan's name. And I think he called him
Dalton or something.
Yeah, it was Dalton and Dennis. No. It was like anything that started with a D was then Dylan's name at that point. Anything other than Dylan. So it was like Dennis, Dalton. I'm just an array of different D names. So I felt bad for him, but it was kind of funny. He took it well.
He can take it. I mean, he's just one of the boys. He can take it well. He's a stud. He's awesome.
But yeah, no, it was a fucking blast. So
Dude, well, congratulations. I mean, that's the bachelor party. You came out alive. Just booked flights to your wedding, actually. So we'll be there.
Good deal. May 13th. If anybody wants to come, it's in
Yeah.
Fargo. DM me for the deets.
Oh, that'll be a good time. But
But
yeah, man. So, and before, I know we're gonna touch on some of the other things here too, but I wanted to give a huge thanks again to we've talked about them a million times on the podcast, but Kinetic Leasing. Luke, I was reflecting back, like, because we just had our 1 year as like the dirt bags, and
recently,
yeah, and Kinetic has been there like almost since the beginning. And before, when we were just like farting out podcasts and doing
they
our thing.
were there before we even started. Remember, we kind of proposed an idea to them. Remember, that was in like October, November. I sat down.
Oh gosh,
Remember
really?
that?
Yeah, I do.
Down with them because you and I had talked about it. We sat down and they're like, "Yep, all about it. Let us know when you get things rolling." So they were there even before we even started.
Yeah, just like the day one boys. I mean, they've done so much for us too. And we try and do as much as we can. And honestly, like for everyone listening too, like we've had a handful of people that are dirtbags themselves, like give them a call. Like there are financing experts. So if you have questions on equipment financing, if you're curious how much it costs, like what type of equipment you can get into, like we send everyone we know to them. And the cool thing is they're just a couple boys, they're the guys, and they have a big company. They work with construction companies. They know how this stuff goes. They know it inside and out. But they can also, have a good time on the golf course, and they can really relate to us and like so many others like across the country.
If you're gonna take him out golfing, make sure Jake's on your team. I think he had fucking like 5 or 6 eagles when him, Isaac, Ryan, and myself went out. He just played a phenomenal game. It was unbelievable. But that being said, I've sent a lot of people over them to get financing, and I know every single one of them has just said that process was seamless. The guys are awesome. They were great. Thank you. So if you're looking to get, I've even heard they have better rates than most banks right now. So if you're looking to get equipment, call the Kinetic boys.
Yeah. And there's info on our website too. We've got all their info on there, but Ryan and Jake, ask to talk to one of them, tell them the dirtbag sent you, and it helps our business as well. Like Luke, you and I have been super honest and open about that. Like that's how we keep this show going. That's how we keep growing. That's how we keep doing these fun things and treat this like a business, and the more value we can give to you dirtbags out there, like the more value and resources come our way. And it's a win-win-win scenario.
3 wins, 3x.
Yeah, maybe 4. I mean, there could be 4 in there.
That's true. But yeah, give them a shout. Our other shout out, got to give a shout out to the hometown boy, Jeremy, for the Snow Jobs podcast.
Yeah, not to be confused with
snow removal.
Not to be confused with anything else, but the Snow Jobs.
Yeah, the Snow Jobs, nothing else. The Snow Jobs. But yeah, they've had some really good guests on, and I know 80% of the people in the construction industry in the Midwest, Northwest, wherever that gets snow, you guys push snow. And so they have some really good topics, really good examples, and just really good conversations about the snow industry.
Yeah, word on the street is our recurring dirtbag, Mr. James Doyle, kicked off their podcast, and he knocked it out of the park.
And that was a really good one. And then they got the LADC one out. And then when Buffalo had that really big storm, I think they had a couple of those guys on. So yeah, really good content. Yeah.
And I know they've been topping the charts too, but it's really like just bringing that community together, because there's not a whole lot of like podcasts out there in this industry. Like there's a select few that are pretty good. And, but yeah, we love to try and support those guys as well. Cause we want to see them blow it up, and just keep that thing going.
Absolutely. But yeah, go check them out. The Snow Jobs.
Great name too. I mean, I
know. I wonder who came up with that. And if anybody knows Jeremy and Steve, they're just a good group of guys.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Yeah, I thought about that too. In my opinion, it's a lot easier to do a podcast with a co-host. I had a podcast for a long time before this, and it was just me, and I would bring on guests, and it's fun and it's good, but it's like nothing like having a co-host. I mean, I don't know about you, Luke, but this is like way more up my alley, and it's way more fun to me of just having like you and I, and then a third person as the guest.
It is. You can, and it's you and I can talk really well together. Cause like when we were in one of our meetings, they were asking, how are we going to do this? How do we know when somebody talks? And I think you and I just kind of know that automatically now.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of cue with the guests. And so I think it works well. But
yeah, I mean, it was a good question because, it was, they're just like, how do you know who's speaking next in the podcast? How do you know who's asking the next question? It's like, I have no idea. We just kind of talk.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, sure. Sometimes you'll step on somebody's toes a little bit, but the more you address that, the worse it gets. It's like, if you just move on, sometimes there's going to be a couple silences. Sometimes you're going to talk over somebody. Just keep the ball rolling and everyone will forget about it. Like, you'll be totally fine.
Whoever asserts dominance, I feel like if you're speaking and somebody cuts in and you continue to speak, then that person's gonna be like, oh fuck, they're still going.
Yeah, dude. I mean, funny story. I mean, that like our last podcast we had with the Sapphire construction with Matt, when you guys at the end were talking about bitching on concrete guys, it's like, listen, I have no place in this conversation.
You're like, I'm gonna sit back and let you guys talk. And full disclosure, we don't hate concrete guys. They are great. Keep doing your jobs.
So anyways, just don't listen to the end of that last podcast and you'll be good. But yeah, I mean, yeah, huge shout out to Kinetic. And then obviously, the Snow Jobs podcast. But yeah, Luke, you and I have said this before, but we're running this like a business since before day one. It wasn't just supposed to be like, we're going to, throw ideas around on a podcast just for fun. Like, we want to see this thing succeed. And it's been really cool looking back in the last year. We've got over 21,000 downloads in a year, over 20 episodes, and we just want to continue to grow that. But also, we're in over 20 countries now, which is mind blowing to me. And it's just really cool to see, people bond over this. And I know how it is too. Like when you find a show or a podcast or something you like and you can relate to, and you put it on when you're driving in the truck, it's just like, I don't know, sometimes it's a little bit of an escape too. And I do that all the time with a different show, but it's just like sometimes nice to get out of like the day to day and just listen to something that you enjoy.
It really is. Yeah. I've been really into the Andy Frisellas lately. And then some of the JREs too. They're kind of grounding at times.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Joe's like, his is always good, but he's got such a wide library. So it's like, you can kind of pick whatever you want.
Yeah. And there's a lot that you can really divulge in with his podcast. Andy Frisella just fucking yells, fuck you, then you're a bitch, basically.
Yeah. If you need to humble yourself, and if you need to, if you're feeling lazy, listen to Andy.
Yeah. You won't feel lazy after listening to Andy. But Luke, I think we need to get into what we had talked about with our podcast. You ready, everybody? One of the round claps. So Luke and I kind of have talked about this a little bit beforehand, but just kind of, I've seen a cultural shift in a lot of people, and we don't see this in like construction workers, but like being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I don't know. I've seen a lot more people adopt like the ice baths, emerging when it's -10 outside and the fucking bath is frozen and you got to break it up and you sit in it for 2 minutes. Like, I don't know what that does for you, like health wise, but like mentally, that's got to make you a lot more tough. I don't know. In my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah. But it's good for blood flow as well. But yeah, just like, like Luke, what we were talking about earlier, just challenging yourself. Like, what can we do as a group and as an industry to like help push each other?
Yeah. This kind of brings us back to the topic of what we were talking about earlier, but like you giving up drinking, that was a consequence. That is challenging yourself. I am giving up drinking until Vegas. You have to drink in Vegas, especially when you're at the blackjack table. So that's an exception. But then after Vegas, not drinking until my wedding again, which is May 13th, which is quite a while. And I'm honestly looking forward to it.
Yeah.
One, because of the health benefits, but then two, to challenge myself. I love drinks. So if I can kind of like alter my thinking of I don't need it, just become more mentally strong that way.
Yeah, 100%. And there's so many things, I know you and I talk a lot about, drinking and, pros and cons. And I think we talk about it because we do enjoy having drinks. And so I think it comes from a place of like, can we better ourselves in that realm? And also, is it more exercise? Like, what can we do to help our business or help our family life or help our relationships or your faith? Like, what are some things that you can do to really push yourself even in the next 30 days to like say, okay, I really want to, start here, but also push myself to get to that, to feeling a little bit better about myself, and also just, yeah, the challenge of it too. I know we're all competitive. So it's like, I don't know, Luke, like you said, you kind of enjoy that challenge.
I do enjoy the challenge. Just like, and I think the construction industry, they challenge everybody within the realm, but I don't know if they challenge themselves. Right? Like take an owner, for example. They are doing what needs to be done for the business, right? They're challenging their self with the business, but are they actually challenging their self with outside, or challenging themselves outside of the business, whether it's health, whether it's mentality, whether it's adopting more positive thoughts compared to negative thoughts, or something like in that example, to where you have to challenge yourself outside of your business to get uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think the more you can work on yourself, the more you'll flourish, whether you're a business owner, you're an employee, the more you'll flourish in your relationship. Like, the more you can really work on yourself and not try and separate it either. A lot of people just focus on work, and it's grinding them down. But it's like, how can we also like focus on just being a better human and being a better person and perceiving things in a different way? And a lot of times being a bit more positive as well. I actually thought about that a lot today. And actually, funny enough, it's a couple of our clients that have been overly kind, and where they'll go out of their way to just send our team a message like, hey, thanks so much for all your work you're doing. Like, you guys rock. And I'm like, I would just shoot them a private message. I'm like, dude, like,
thanks.
You don't know how much that means. Like, and it really does mean a lot. And it's just, everyone's human in this world. And it's like, the more you can just stop, relax, and like be kind, or like try and just say something nice to somebody, you never know what it can do. And it helps you out too. I mean, just as a person, like being a bit more positive.
Definitely. I know I think I've said it on the podcast once, but there's a book and a video called The Secret. And if you don't know what it is, look it up. And I just challenge you to watch it. It's like an hour and a half. You got to get through the beginning. The beginning's a little weird, but the message is there. It's basically all about the law of attraction, right? You get out what you put in a lack of better terms, right? If you think positively and you want positive things to happen to you, they will. If you think negatively, if you're constantly thinking about the bad, that's what you're going to get. So I've been trying to, I have a reminder set in my phone every morning that goes off. And where I got that was from Andy Frisell. He brought that into fruition here recently. But then there was a guy locally, his name was Ace Brandt, one of the wealthiest guys probably in the area. He is our neighbor at the lake. And I remember he was telling me about this. This was 4 years ago. And is like, I asked him, give me some examples of what you do to be successful or whatever. I think I was 21 when I asked him. And the first thing he said is watch The Secret. But it's basically thinking about all positivity. There's going to be negative no matter what, right? The negative is going to happen even when you're not thinking about it. But if you're thinking more positively, that's what you're expecting. When the negatives hit, you just got to roll with the punches. But I have a reminder in my phone, and as it sits, I got to find it here because it goes off in the morning. It says, visualize your future life. So I try to, it's a great reminder because it comes off during the day, but I want to visualize the good things, where I want to be, the things I want to have, the things I want to do, to where I can adjust my thinking towards that and bring more positivity to it.
Dude, that's incredible. Like, and I'll just put a little disclaimer out there. Like, Luke's been trying to get me to watch The Secret, and I watched like the first 40 minutes. It's a little dry right away, but
the first 40 minutes is tough.
Yeah,
but you got to power through it.
It's a little dry, but yeah, what you just said right there, I mean, that's incredible. And just visualizing, yeah, like how do you want to feel? How do you want to be? How do you want to treat people? How do you want people to treat you? And it's just like, why not just go that route instead of just kind of plateauing and going through the same monotony? And, let's try and make a difference and do what you want to do. And like, whatever that is, like, visualize that.
I got to bring this example up too, because Andy's a lot better of explaining it than I am. Andy Frisella on the, what's his podcast name? The fucking Real AF. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's episode 474, keeping the end goal vision, different types of motivation and comparing. That is the one where he really talks about the secret. And I think it's like a 32-minute episode. Go and watch that one and just listen to what he says. Because Luke, you had good points about like positivity around people, but he took it to a different level to where like I am thinking solely on where I want to be business wise, money wise, social status wise. Not that social status really matters, but just from where he started to where he is now, he goes, everything I fucking visualized, I have now. And I made that into my routine. If it works, who knows? I don't know. But there's something to be said about always being more positive too, and bringing more positive thoughts into oneself.
Yeah. So the dirty 30. The dirty 30.
The dirty 30. I was getting into that. So Luke and I came up with this challenge. We're going to call it the dirty 30. And to anybody who's still listening, the dirty 30 is going to be a challenge on a 30-day basis. You have to pick 30 days to how you're going to challenge yourself. The kicker is you have to message our Dirtbags Instagram and tell us what that challenge is. And if you fail, there's got to be a consequence.
Yep.
Right? But then there's got to be a reward.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and let us know what it is, like Luke said, because then we'll know you actually listened this far into the podcast, which that's tough to do. So let us know. We're super excited to like follow along with that. And the whole point of it too is to like pour into each other as well, whatever goal that is, and set that reward, set that consequence. More importantly, run out the 30 days. And let's see what happens. I mean, I think this is going to be awesome, Luke. I know we're not doctors. We're not specialized in mental health or anything, but what we do know is that if we have friends and we're connected and we're all pushing each other to better ourselves, like we know that helps in a lot of areas of life. So I know we want to do a little bit more of that, and ourselves too. Like we need to push ourselves with our own dirty 30.
Yeah, we do. And I think after this, you and I got to come up with our dirty 30 and what we're going to do. What maybe we'll each come up with one, but then we each get to pick the reward and the consequence for each other.
I love it. Like yeah. That. I'll pick your reward and your consequence.
Yes, and vice versa.
Dude, that's awesome. And and you have to pay for the reward.
Deal.
Better.
I'm in. Deal. Okay. So dirty 30, right? We want, tell us what you're going to do. Show us that you're going to do it on Instagram. It's the same premises as 75 hard, basically. We're not going to ask you to go work out outside 2 times a week or whatever that is, but come up with something, how to challenge yourself. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Bingo. Luke's laughing at me.
Right? All right. I love how you're just like, 75 hard. We're not going to ask you to work out 2 times a week or whatever it was, but I think 75 hard is 2 times a day. You have to work
2 times. That's what I meant to say. Did I say a week? My bad. Yeah, no, it's 2 times a day. One has to be outside or something.
Yeah, for sure. But still not going to ask you to do that.
No, we won't. But we are going to ask you to challenge yourself. So come up with something good.
Yeah. So super pumped to see those come in. Luke, I think this is going to be a great extension of the Dirtbags, of just really continuing to build that community, because we've seen it with Dirtbags University. Like people want to learn, they want to grow their business. Seen it with the podcast. People are learning, they're engaging with us. But I think this is just going to be a whole nother avenue of like, let's do more than just the podcast, and like, let's communicate with you outside of it and in your personal life. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree. And we're not trying to be a motivational podcast at all.
No.
But I do think there needs to be more talk about follow up with people, individuals, on how they're challenging themselves, how they're taking care of themselves. That needs to be more highlighted. So that's kind of the point of this podcast.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this just popped up in my head, but I think you and I do a good job of that with each other. Like, cause you and I talk all the time about business, personal stuff, like all that. And so it's like, if people don't have that with somebody or a group of people, like it really does help to have somebody you can just call whenever you talk about anything. And it's just really to help push you be a better person. And whatever that looks like, whatever you want that to be, But have that person in your corner that, will kind of have your back.
It keeps you on track, keeps you accountable. That's huge. I've found that in partnerships, like you and Cole are perfect examples of that, of keeping me accountable for, holding my end up. And then also kind of on the back end, you don't want to let the other person down either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And it really, at the end of the day too, it's, I love these types of partnerships because like if something comes up, if something happens, like it's not the end of the world. Like you've got each other's back, and whether it's like a missed meeting or a missed deadline or like whatever it is, it's just, you understand the other person. And especially like, in this world, like things do come up. And so that partnership, that long-term understanding of like, hey, we've got each other, like, let's build something special together. Yep. It's really cool to have.
Absolutely. Okay. So to recap, Dirty 30, find out what you're going to do to push yourself. Maybe it's going to the gym for 30 days a week. Maybe it's giving up drinking for 30 days a week. Maybe it's not going out to fast food for 30 days. I don't know why I'm saying 30
days a week.
Yeah. 30 days a month. A week is stuck in my head for some reason. 30 days a month, something that is going to challenge you, not something that that you can do easily.
Yeah. And then have that reward, have that consequence, and then let us know what it is so we can help keep you on the tracks as well.
Yep. Because we want to know. And I also want more ideas on, we can take that into how we're going to better ourselves. Maybe it's something that we don't think of that somebody else does, and it can affect your life as well. So let us know.
100%. So got another thing going on. We've got
the book.
It's
not The Secret, but it is.
It's not.
What is the title, Luke?
The Digital Dirt World.
Oh.
Is at the time of this podcast launching, The Digital Dirt World is now up on Amazon. Go grab a copy, type it in. Got Luke Agabraten. So I think if you type that in on Amazon, it should pop up as well. But we'll also put. So it's got this little.
Look at that picture behind it. Ooh.
What was that? Where'd that come from?
That was a panda project that we did. Those were nice pictures.
Hell yeah. So we'll also put the link in the description as well. So you can grab a copy, but put them up for $16. If you're coming to Con Expo, I'm going to try and bring a stack of them too. So if you're going, let me know and I can just give you one there. But yeah, super stoked. It'll be very cool to have that as like, if somebody can't really work with us as like a client, they can also listen to the podcast. They can come to Dirtbags University, but now they can also get the book and really still be engaged with what we're doing and, as a whole, but not necessarily have to work like with Phaser marketing or, whatever we're doing.
Tips, tricks, and the do-alls of the digital dirt world. Hell yeah. Did you ever think that you would write a book, like take back to like high school?
No, not at all. Because a year and a half ago, I would have said I would never write a book. And basically what it came down to was my coaching group that I'm in, they just talk about the importance of having a podcast, having a webinar, having, like a good solid business that runs without me there, but then also having a book. And I'm like, well, how am I going to write a book? And so they really helped me with like the framework of it. My wife, Olivia, helped me edit the whole thing and proofread it. And so she's been a huge help. But at the end of the day too, it's just like, who cares if somebody doesn't like what I say in there or if they don't agree with it? It's just, I kind of got over that quickly of just like, I just kind of want to get this thing out there and get into some people's hands and then try to do another one.
Absolutely. I know as soon as that link comes out, I need to order it because I want to read it.
Yeah. So and we'll do the book starting out. And then we might come out with the audio book. I want to really push people to get the physical copy. And then probably in about 6 months, we'll do an audio book version. And then, then we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on the release of your first book, probably your first of many at this point. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll see after it goes out, I might take a break, but we'll see what happens. Well, I should probably tell you when we're not recording, but I have a name for the second one that's Dirtbags related.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Hopefully
good one.
I'm Luke, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to write a book. So if I have to do any of that, you'll have to talk to my people.
For your people.
Yeah. Which is Riley. Riley can have maybe a better say than I do.
I'll talk to Riley.
Yeah. Talk to Riley.
Good stuff.
But yeah, man. Well, congrats on the book. And obviously getting close to Con Expo. We've got a pretty full schedule at Con Expo, don't we?
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of just want to lay out like our schedule, because obviously we want to meet anyone listening that's going to Vegas. We want to meet, hang out, do all that. So Luke, we've got a few things going on. I know Tuesday you're flying in.
I fly in Tuesday. You're there Monday, right? Or Sunday?
Yep. I'm there actually. So I fly in Sunday. And so Sunday. I didn't really want to bring this up, but you know me, I'm kind of cheap. Yeah. And I fly in like kind of later Sunday, and Vegas is 24 hours. I'm like, okay, how can I like not pay for an extra night at the hotel?
So you get in probably like a little past midnight.
9 p.m. And then I'm like, well, if I just, sit at the tables, make money, and then like go into my Monday.
There you go.
Then I'll have my room. So
yeah,
we'll see, TBD on that. But anyway, you get in Tuesday. I know we're doing a private podcast recording, which I'm super stoked.
We are.
Yeah, I'll just say it. We got Doug Castles from BlackRock Excavating. He is an electric factory if you don't follow him. He's going to be on, but that'll be like a private podcast. And then Wednesday morning, you've got your panel.
Wednesday morning at 9. I believe it's either 9 or 9:30. I have to double check. I'm pretty sure it's at 9. But yeah, season's not too salty. There's myself and then 3 others on that panel. So it'll be a fun one.
What a great name too.
Yeah. Shout out to Lexi for coming up with these names.
So yeah, if you guys have the educational pass, go check out Luke's panel, seasoned but not too salty, 9 o'clock.
And then you are at 2, right?
Yep. So I've got one at 2:30 actually, and it's in the West Hall, 211 and 212. That's on Wednesday as well. And it's like the importance of building an online brand. So if you guys have the educational pass, come check out Luke's and come check out mine. I know we're trying to get as many people there as we can, just so we can all hang out and have a good time and just get to know each other more. And then also just to, like support each other as well. So.
And then Wednesday.
That was Wednesday. So now
Wednesday night, we got the drinks with the dirtbags.
No, that's Thursday.
Oh, is that Thursday? I thought that was Wednesday.
No, that's Thursday at 3:30.
Oh yeah, damn. That's right. That's the 16th. That's Riley's birthday.
Yeah. So Thursday's packed. Thursday's gonna be nuts.
Whole fucking day. I can't remember. What do we start out? Thursday, 10 a.m. We're with Diamond.
We've been running ads for that. You should remember.
We have been running ads. Dude, I am just 10 a.m. Diamond. What is it? The North Hall?
Yep.
Yeah, North Hall. I don't remember their booth number, but it's a big booth.
So just find the Diamond Mowers booth. It's a huge booth. We're doing a live podcast in there. I know Luke and I, and then Matt Nelson, and then we'll have a 4th actually potentially. And 1 hour podcast. Then we're going to be hanging out after, and it'd be great to see like the support from the dirtbags coming in, because honestly, it'd make us look good if we had a bunch of people show up. So come check it out, grab a coffee, grab a drink, whatever you guys want to do, and then come hang out with us afterwards. It would make us look kind of cool.
Diamond's also, they're releasing a brand new product too. We're not allowed to say what it is, but it'll be coming out at Con Expo. So that might be cool to see.
It's freaking awesome. So come check it out. Come hang out with us. That'll be at 10 a.m. Thursday in the North Hall. It's the Diamond Mowers booth. And then 3:30 drinks with the dirtbags. Luke, the fact that this, like, if you would have showed me this like 6 months ago, I would have said, I would have said like, that's electric, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Literally,
it's happening.
We are helping them with their community zone. Basically they're launching this new whole part of Con Expo, and it's called the community zone. And Thursday at 3:30 p.m., Luke and I get to go up there. We get to do an interview with John Summers. He's been on the podcast. He's the vice president of AEM, which
that makes it happen.
Basically, I mean, they own Con Expo, which is cool. He's the man that makes it happen. We're literally having drinks while having the interview. And then there's a cash bar. So you guys can have drinks. We can hang out. It's Thursday in the afternoon. So it's like, we're just about to go. Yeah. We're like going to shower up. We're going to go have a good time. But let's have a couple drinks before we leave the show and hang out. So it's going to be perfect timing, a beautiful day. And come hang out and have some drinks with the dirtbags.
I heard first round's on Luke Egerbron, so you might want to show up.
Done. I'll pay for it. Hold me to it, and I'll pay for everyone's first drink. You heard it here. Hell yeah. We'll have to cut that into a snippet, Luke. I'm gonna post that all over. Shit. But yeah. And then what else is Thursday? Do we have something else Thursday night? I think that's it. I think actually I'm flying out. Friday morning I'm flying out. We fly out Friday morning too. We're early. Our flight leaves at 6 a.m. So we got to be there like 3:30. Thursday night we might get into some trouble as well. So we'll see what happens. Staying up all night, better to do that than to fall asleep, from what I hear. Yeah, exactly. So looking forward to that. But yeah, seriously, if anyone's interested in meeting up, we found it's easier to just say what we're doing and then, let us know if you want to meet up anywhere. It's going to be busy for everyone there. So it'd just be great to bump into you guys and meet you and, have a couple drinks together. We're going to be at the tables whenever we get some free time too. So if you like blackjack, come play with us. Yep. You're at the MGM, right, Luke? Yep. Yeah, we're in the same same hotel. And then we've got Brandon and his girlfriend Jessica staying with us as well. Olivia's coming. So we'll have a full crew. It'll be a good time. Riley's coming. It's actually her birthday on Thursday. And it's Brandon's girlfriend's Jessica's birthday on Wednesday, I believe. Man, a bunch of birthdays. Riley's actually 35 on Thursday. It's crazy. All right. Time flies. For reference, I'm 26. So she's not actually 35. I'm sure she's listening right now. She's 29 on Thursday. I thought I heard her yell at you in the background. No. It's her birthday Thursday. She's 29. So if you see her, wish her happy birthday. She'll love it. Good stuff. Well, yeah, Luke, I can't wait for Con Expo. We've got a lot of things coming up, and honestly, just like the dirtbags as a whole, kind of like I was saying I couldn't believe that this event is happening, but it's honestly just with everyone supporting it and getting behind what we're doing. It's not just like a fledgling podcast. There's a bigger mission behind it. And so it's been really cool to see the support of Con Expo and also just everyone else that is kind of inviting us to these things to help promote more of this mission. But yeah, who knows what's going to happen this year. Cheers to year 1 and cheers to year 2 with my Liquid Death. It's great sparkling water. If anybody likes sparkling water. Cheers, man. Well, let's wrap it up here. We'll see you guys at Con Expo. If you want to buy the book, we'll drop the link in the description. And let's have a good one. That's a podcast. Thanks for listening, fellas and ladies and kids.